Hello and welcome into another episode. Today we are joined by some very amazing individuals and very resilient individuals, and I'm extremely happy that they agreed to come and be a part of the show. Their names are Michelle and Olivia Rebman. They are survivors of fallen state trooper Keith Rebman, and it's such an honor to have you guys on. I'm just going to say that you guys are absolute champions, and in my mind of minds, you are also heroes.
Thank
With
you
that
so much.
said,
Thanks for having us.
yes, absolutely, it's phenomenal to be able to have you guys on, and um, at any point in time while we're talking today, if you feel like we get into the realm of something that makes you feel uncomfortable at all, please let us know because we don't want to push any buttons that are, a little too much. You know what I mean? But it's really, really important, I think, for us to explore the topic of what it is like to survive a fallen state trooper like this. And it doesn't just land solely on that. Like it could be being a widow to a veteran, being a widow to a first responder, as far as paramedics or something like that. I mean, and this is a problem that goes through the masses. Um, I know that you guys aren't alone in this, and that this is something that affects millions and millions of individuals, and it's a topic that I think deserves to be explored. So, where I would like to start is, and you can chime in as well if you would like.
I'll jump in at some point.
Where I would like to start is where everything was prior to the accident. Okay. So basically, what was life like prior to Keith losing his life, and how old were you, Olivia, and how much do you remember? And you guys are gonna have to share the microphone. I apologize for that, and just kind of fill in the gaps in those time frames before his passing.
Okay. Um, well, actually, it was and I know you have children, so you've been here. The girls were 2, 4, and 5 years old at the time. Um, Keith had gone to school when I only had two babies at home, and he had gone to the academy, and unfortunately he took it to, or I had one baby at home at the time, and he had gone to the academy. He got 7 tests in, and unfortunately fell just short of passing that one. And so he became a dispatcher for highway patrol for 4 years, which was, even though he was only on the road about a year before he died, he knew everybody and everybody knew him. They knew his voice from the radio. And when I was pregnant with our youngest, Kennedy, he came to me and he said, I need to try again. Keith always wanted to wear a uniform. He always had that desire to serve. Unfortunately, there was a health issue that kept him from being able to even be in the Army. When we were dating, he tried to do that. And I think he just really wanted to serve his state, his country, his community. So when I was teaching and I had 2 toddlers and I was pregnant, he went back to the academy and he made it, and it was wonderful for him and like the proudest day of his life. We were stationed they moved us down to the Charleston, Berkeley area for a year, and very preschool days. I was a stressed out mommy, and it was difficult to afford to live there, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And so he requested a transfer. We had been back in Greenville about a month and a half when he was hit. So baby's at home, and then everything changed.
And you had 3 children at that point in time, correct?
Yes, 3
Yeah.
girls.
Oh man, I can't even imagine. Oh,
We got an alert.
yeah, she likes to chime in at the worst times. So can you fill us in on exactly what had taken place? What was the accident exactly?
Actually, when did this happen?
Yeah.
When did?
This was October 24th, 2017.
Okay.
So
Wow.
sorry. just go ahead, tell the story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So he was on nights at the time. He had actually just taken the girls on a weekend to Georgia. He got home, and I made burgers. I make really good cheeseburgers, but they were not that great that night. And I don't know what happened. And I thought about that later. Made dinner just like a normal night, kissed him goodbye. Um, he was sitting radar on 385, right at Bridges Road exit.
I know exactly what you're saying.
And there was a guy who had worked, basically, a guy was driving one of those dually trucks with the big wide back wheels,
Yeah.
ran off the road, said that he fell asleep and hit him basically right straight back in the back of his patrol car. One thing that was comforting to me later, I didn't know at the moment, was it was a very intense hit. It was a devastating injury.
Yeah.
He was on life support when they came and got me. So they came to my door at 1:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And what I remember is that our doorbell was terrible and it was broken at the time, and it just kind of made this like dong sound, and and I heard it at 1:30 in the morning, and I kind of got up and I picked up my phone to call him and to let him know that somebody is at our door in the middle of the night. And I got down the hallway and I saw the blue lights. Keith never parked in the driveway. He parked to the right of our driveway. And when I saw that the patrol car was in the driveway, I just put the phone down. And they came. It was one of his supervisors told me that he had been hit. I had to call my parents to come over and get to watch the babies. My mom rode with me to the hospital, and that was the beginning of that day.
Gosh. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, really.
That's crazy. So how old was Olivia at this point in time?
She was 5. This was October, and she had just started kindergarten. She turned 6 in November. So she had a birthday shortly after.
Wow. So you remember him fairly well, I'm assuming. How old are you now?
I'm 13.
13. Okay. So when all this took place, like, kind of run me through some of the things that you remember.
Yeah, you can
that
move
young.
the microphone.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Like that day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Or in that time frame, but that day specifically, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, so I don't remember much. I just remember sitting on the porch, and a lot of family was my grandparents' porch,
Right.
and there was a lot of family around. My cousins were playing, and I don't remember a lot what I did, but my mom told me that when she told us, both my sisters, we all processed it different.
Yeah, yeah.
I went to play with my cousins afterward.
Yeah. So you were still kind of at that age either way to where you don't really kind of understand exactly what's happening. At what point in time did it really kind of click to you what was happening in your life, like the changes that were taking place?
So I went to this camp. It's called Cops Kids Camp, and we have counseling every time we go there. So, I have a lot of friends my age that were also talking about how their parent died, and it kind of became real because I was surrounded by other people with similar stories.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big pill to swallow, especially being. I have goosebumps right now. So yeah, that's a really big pill to swallow. My kids go to a camp every summer, but it's not for individuals who have fallen fathers or mothers, but it's for kids whose parents are veterans, right? So I'm aware of the type of clubs and camaraderie that they try to have in the camps and whatnot, and I think that's a really healthy thing to have. Do you think that going to that camp has kind of helped you digest your father's passing, and do you think that other people who may have went through something similarly traumatic should recommend, or you would recommend that to them?
I would. It's really helpful. You're surrounded by so many people that actually know what you're going through instead of sympathy they don't know,
Yeah.
and um, everyone just either even if they don't know what you're going through, like there's still like first responders or like people who help with us,
Right.
and you also have friends that went through the same stuff you did, so they know exactly how you feel, and it's a really big
And
comfort.
you said you've been to it more than once. Okay. I mean, have you been like every year?
Ever since I was 6.
Okay. Wow.
Wow, that is.
And do you see a lot of the same kids that come back?
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
To be
yeah.
able to, another year go by and you talk to the same people about
Yeah.
the same,
Yeah.
how it's been going for you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's a good thing, I think, because it gives you something that every single one of you share and have in common, and that's a huge thing. Um, Now, as far as your siblings, I don't know if you would be able to speak better for them, or if you would, but I'm sure that you've spent a lot more time with them per capita than she might have. I don't know.
Siblings,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how that works out between you guys, but and either one of you can answer this question if you would like. But throughout this process, did you notice a change in your own behavior or in their behavior? And um, how was it being big sister to your younger siblings throughout this process?
Um, I I don't remember much from the beginning, but I do remember like I would go to bed and then I would hear, like where's dad or I miss him,
Hmm.
and like it was kind of
What about you? What did you notice, Michelle?
Uh, this could be a big one for me.
And I understand.
So right off the bat, I actually used to say back then, Olivia embraced, at her age, I think because of the memories she had, she embraced, I call it dad as a mascot almost. Like she wanted to wear all the t-shirts, all the jewelry. She wore his shirt. She still likes to do that. She was very proud. Unfortunately, at the beginning, and we kind of talk about this sometimes, like I think it took her a really long time to actually get to the grief portion.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that I learned actually up at Police Week was that children grieve developmentally.
Yeah.
So every time they reach a new developmental stage, their grief is going to start all over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Olivia, my 5-year-old, was very much like daddy everything. My 4-year-old it was like a very pure, very real, very what you would expect grief.
Right.
There were tears almost every single night, like Olivia was saying. A lot of I miss daddies. A lot of,
Yeah.
I remember her praying that she would have a dream about him just so that she could see him. It was really gut wrenching. And then my 2-year-old, it was like daddy in her imagination. I remember her talking to him almost like an imaginary friend in the car. I was driving one day and she said, "Daddy's tickling me," or, it was very cute. She was also extremely blunt. And I think, which
As kids will be. Yeah.
as an adult, I've found that very refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was such a public death. And you get a lot of, "I'm sorry he passed away. And I'm sorry that and little kids, 2-year-olds will just go, I would go to the bank and they would go to the girls to want to suck her. And she's like, "Yeah, my daddy's dead." She would just like,
Wow. Yeah.
you almost feel apologetic towards the people that you're talking to.
Yeah.
Like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry to rub our trauma off on you." But that definitely changes. So with their developmental stages, Kennedy, my youngest, reached a point when she was probably 5 or 6, very similar, where she started to ask questions like,
Right.
how long did he know me? How long did I have him? And that wasn't long enough. And a lot of the tears came.
Yeah.
Charlie has worked through she was 4 at the time. She's 12 now. Now she will wear a t-shirt. She didn't want anything to do with that stuff at the beginning. It made her too sad.
Yeah.
And Olivia We talked about this on the way here. Actually, Olivia had some trauma that came out sideways. That's what I've heard counselors say, if you don't go through it and if you don't process it, it'll come out sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when she was 6, right after her birthday, she had a regression. She was in kindergarten. We've been potty trained. She had some issues. I have her permission to talk about some of this on the way.
Yeah,
We talked about this on the way here. A woman that I know who works with foster kids said one time that when children experience trauma, you'll either see it in the bathroom or with food.
Right.
Very often, because those are
Okay.
things that they have control over. And she became very fearful. There was an incident at church where a toilet overflowed, and it was during the week of Keith's funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a real struggle. And Olivia, we couldn't take her to public restrooms. We couldn't, it was really rough.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, she was not really crying, and there were not a lot of tears from her. It was a lot of pride and so proud of my dad, and so, all thin blue line stuff. And it was about 18 months of trauma.
Wow.
She had to use the restroom in the nurse's office at school. And when we were at kids camp for the second time, she and I had one of those mom and daughter moments where there was a timeout situation, and she started to just really cry about her dad.
Yeah.
And she said, I don't know if she remembers this specifically, but she said, everything would be better if Dad was here. And she cried and I cried. And it was the first time I'd really seen her break down significantly.
Wow.
And literally from that time, all of those other traumatic sideways issues got better. And it was
Right.
like she had to process in order to actually start to connect with that grief. It was
And that's something I want to kind of get into a little bit too. Is what are some of those things that you would use, some vices that you would maybe pick up to kind of help you deal with this, whether it be light poking or a dark sense of humor, because in the military we have a very dark sense of humor. I already see your
I have a very dark sense of humor.
or maybe it's praying or whatever the situation is. What are some things that you would do or still do to this day to kind of help you cope and deal with this?
I have a really close friend that we have conversations and stuff, and I was watching, it was a few days ago, I was watching Charlie Kirk's funeral with my grandparents and sisters,
Mm-hmm.
and we had a conversation. We were talking about our dads, I was saying, Charlie Kirk died at the same age my dad did, and his dad died, he was 10 years older than mine.
Mm-hmm.
We were both talking about how it was still too young, and we were just, I like coping by talking about it with
Mhm.
my friends, or I do have a very dark sense of humor. And
Yeah, I know, and we've actually discussed this on the podcast before. How a dark sense of humor, when we were talking to Kevin,
Yeah.
which you guys have not seen yet, you will soon. How a dark sense of humor can actually really kind of help you kind of glide through some of the tougher times and the darker times when it comes to the passing of someone that we care for or something along those lines. But what about you, Michelle? What are some things that you do to kind of deal with the fog that may come from the loss of a loved one?
I know that you said the word vices when you first asked this question.
Yeah.
I think really for me, having my children was, having the girls so young and having those babies, it was horrible,
Mm-hmm.
but it also was this blessing. It kept me going.
Yeah.
And it also kept me from, I think, imbibing in some of those more life altering, dangerous type
Right.
vices,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
drinking yourself to sleep and doing, things, not to, everybody ends up coping in their own way. I think avoidance is a big one for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like a Netflix binger, or, I definitely have that avoidance.
Yeah.
That's one of my vices.
Well, I didn't mean vices in with a negative
Yeah,
connotation, because you can have positive
they're not
vices
all
as well,
negative, and I don't even think that's like the most negative thing. I just think there are times when you're like you just have to check out. I
Right.
think talking about it helps me immensely. Moving forward, I we have had so much support, and not everybody has that. And recognizing that blessing for what it is, and
Yeah.
understanding the privilege that we've had to
Hmm.
have the support we've had. So laughter is huge for me.
Right.
Spending time with other widows, and acting like it's just a bunch of crazy widows when we get together. I think widows need each other. I really do. I think it's important. We have to be able to laugh. We have to be able to. We do crazy things. When you lose your husband, you still talk to him
Right.
like out loud, like about the fact that he's supposed to be here taking the trash out and he's not, and it's annoying. And you just have these crazy moments. Like I found this really special picture frame of his in his storage that he had broken, and he basically, like, you could tell him he had broken it and had like hid it underneath something else in the box. And I was like,
What a
babe,
man thing to do.
yeah. I was like sitting in the storage, like lecturing him out loud, like.
Right.
And that's just this crazy thing that only other widows really understand.
Now, you were saying a support group. Is that like law enforcement widows, or is it
Yes,
just
I have a few. I have Christian widows that I connect with,
Yeah,
right.
who are other believers. Concerns of police survivors. That's what she's been talking about. I actually just came back from a retreat in Colorado last weekend, where we go. They offer us counseling. Even 8 years out, there are other issues that you still deal with.
Yeah.
I've been a single mom for 8 years now,
Mm.
and that just comes with, and not just that I am a single mom, but why I'm a single mom
Yeah.
Right.
still affects everything and a lot in my life. So going back to work was also really big for me.
Yeah. And you're a teacher.
I am.
correct?
I'm a
Yeah.
high school English teacher, which can be.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's a different kind of condolences.
Yeah.
I. It's funny. I went back to work in the middle of COVID, like right in the middle of everything being
Wow.
so insane and masks and the plastic, but I had been out for a couple years, and I felt like I was ready, and I was ready to move forward and reclaim some of my identity,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you lose it
Mhm.
when you lose your husband. So my enthusiasm for going back to work in the middle of COVID was kind of bonkers.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
But that has helped me to, again, I think that's a big part of reclaiming my identity and tapping into that part of me that is not just widow and just mom,
Right.
but Michelle.
Yeah,
So.
no, and that's completely understandable. Throughout that process of you kind of reclaiming Michelle, what were some of the major hurdles that you really found yourself having to overcome?
Um, okay, if I start back at the beginning, especially for people who might be right at the very beginning of this journey,
Yeah.
everything you do is painful.
Hmm.
Especially in those initial weeks. I remember the life insurance had come in.
Hmm.
There was, we had nothing. I mean, we were on a cop salary when he died.
Mhm.
So, but the life insurance come in, and it was literally sitting in my bank account, and the lights got cut off because I forgot to pay the bill.
Oh no.
Is things like that where you're like doing a load of laundry. I would do a load of laundry like 7 times because it feels like everything, the fog. And I know you guys talk about that on
Yeah.
your podcast. I've
Yeah.
heard you, like,
Well,
that fog is serious business.
let me get this thing up here. Yeah, that's exactly what this stuff
Yeah.
is all about. Is learning and figuring out through means of other individuals how
Yeah.
to escape your fog, and you may have something that someone else may need to hear, and it might help them kind of escape their fog. So that's really, really important to us.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. It made me think about it. Immediately after, did the State Troopers Association have something? Did they have resources to like kind of start helping you right away?
They were in the waiting room.
Okay.
They showed up. They were there out in force. In fact, that day I remember saying, there were these high ranking officers, colonels and lieutenants that were there. that it would have driven Keith crazy that he couldn't stand up and greet them in a formal manner. They showed up in droves. They brought I just remember they brought like $1,000 check to the waiting room and just handed it to me.
Wow.
As part of the Troopers Association. They were like, we just know there's going to be stuff off the bat. They sat outside of our house for, I think, probably 2 weeks.
Wow.
They just kind of kept watch. They were there if we needed anything. I could talk way too long about everything that they did for us.
Yeah, no, I know the law enforcement community is extremely tight knit, probably more tight knit than even the veteran community. But I think that's a beautiful thing, and I think it's a necessary thing, because especially in cases like this, where you have a fallen trooper or a fallen officer of any branch of the first responders. You guys have to stick together.
Yeah.
You have literally it seems like the entire world against your officer.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't even be a thing. It shouldn't even be a thought in someone's mind that law enforcement is someone that you have to protect yourself against.
Right.
So y'all have to be tight knit.
Yeah. There's a lot of movements, that have to do with like humanizing the badge.
Yeah.
Because they have to be humanized. My husband was...
Well, yeah, because
he was just this country boy from Central Florida, who just wanted to wear a uniform and help people and be there for people. He had 3 babies at home, adored them, loved me. He was just a guy. He drove a truck. He went hunting and fishing.
The only thing different between him and anybody else, between he and I and him, is what he wears to his job.
Yeah.
Right.
And his responsibilities are to uphold the Constitution and to serve and to protect, and he's doing his ever living best. I'm sure of it. But because of that, just because of that nickel badge, and all of a sudden turns him into this really bad guy. No, that's not the case. He is a father. He's a husband. He's a nephew. He's a cousin. He's a brother. And that above all is, should at least resonate with, a few people, because I guarantee you, it doesn't matter if your best friend is law enforcement or if he's just another Joe Schmo on the side of the road. You lose him, you're losing something extremely important and valuable to you. It doesn't matter what you wear. So I think that it's important for us to bring that humanization back to law enforcement. Sorry, that's my soapbox.
I agree. That's okay. That's okay. I want to talk about just a couple more minutes about what they did for us.
No,
too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
The floor is yours.
Because again, they are also humans behind the badge. And initially there was a lot. They came to their soccer games. They came and walked the girls to their first day of school that next year. They were there for really anything that we needed them to be there for. When we went to Police Week, we had escorts at Police Week, which is one of the most overwhelming experiences of your life. And some of that, even though some of that slows down, these guys have their own lives. They have their own losses.
Right.
A lot of them retire. They move forward. We still get checked on. Last week, we have a trooper who detail cleans my van once a year, close to our end of watch date. It's just as we get close to October, that's just one specific way that he chooses to take care of us. And things like that are so real and so practical, and they speak to the heart of single motherhood and where our lives are now, and the type of thing that I just can't get around to.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So
Yeah, that's great. What made me think about it was my grandfather was in law enforcement for about 17 or 18 years until he retired. And I remember we supported State Trooper. There was an organization that you could donate.
Yeah.
And we had on the back of his car every year he got a little State Trooper, whatever it was, thing that he would give. I don't know how much he would give, but he would support that. And I think all that goes to the State Trooper Association, goes to things like that.
yes,
Yeah.
they're amazing.
So hey, maybe let's throw a link in the video of that, because
Yeah, no,
Still think
absolutely.
that you can donate to the State
Yeah,
Troopers
for sure.
Association. That
For
is a
sure.
great organization.
And we'll definitely do that. And it doesn't even have to necessarily be that organization, but reaching out and helping any organization. It can be something like that, or it can be something that only helps with the children of fallen law enforcement, or whatever it is. Find something that you are comfortable with assisting with, and investing in, because I can promise you, it doesn't matter what it is, it can help. So do your part, do your due diligence, because I promise you, these individuals go out of their way to do as much as they can to keep you safe. So the least that you can do is give back to them, and that's
Kimberly
what I say.
made a nice comment.
So let's see what Kimber had to say. She said, "Well, talk about taking care of your own. Amazing to the troopers, taking such great care of them during this most difficult time of their lives." I agree completely. So, where are you now? As far
She's
as
here now.
Shut up! Would you just
You invited
stop
me.
it? No, you are a part of this, and you're supposed to be on my side. Okay. So where do you find yourselves now? Whether it be in school or work, or what is your daily life like? And is this something that impacts you on a day-to-day basis?
You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's not like I'm depressed or anything. I still goof around with my friends. Like, it changes a lot, especially like we used to have this thing called donuts with Dad, and we'd have to have a grandpa or an uncle or something come.
Yeah.
And then everyone else had their dad, which, I mean, it was kind of hard, but that was in elementary school, and I was still kind of coping at that age. Like I'm still learning, and so it was sad. And then my friends, it kind of hurts a little when my friend comes into school and they're like, "Ugh, my dad is so annoying." Like,
right.
I wish I could complain like that, but
Yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from on
Yeah,
that.
I get that. And it's grief comes in waves. They always tell you that when something like that happens, grief comes in waves, and it does. Having been through it a number of times myself, and it continues to. It just the time between the waves gets further apart.
Yeah.
So you'll grieve your dad your whole life.
Yeah, I lost my father when he was in his late 40s. I was in the military, and it's something that still impacts me to this day as an adult. I lost him as an adult, and this is when both of us had plenty of time behind our belts, in life, and but it's still something that affects you, and it definitely affects me from at this point, and I think to myself, man, I really would wish to be able to sit down and have a donut with my dad. Now that you mention it, but
yeah, he could teach you to play bass.
he was trying before he passed away.
I can imagine,
but
it didn't go well.
No, it didn't. But I see that nobody taught you how to play guitar either.
Yeah,
so
I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress.
Yeah, it's just going to be a long work of progress. I can tell you that. So between the two of you, you answered that question. Now, what about you, Michelle? What are how does it affect you, if at all? And what is life like for you now?
Life is busy. Like I said, I'm a high school English teacher. I've been single momming for 8 years now. The girls, really wise decision on my part. I bought a house that's across the street from the school where I work.
Oh, wow.
But they go to private school, so it's a 30-minute drive to their school. So
good.
We leave the house at 6:45 in the morning. Minute to minute, very stressful day all day long. I pick them up, I bring them home. I think it starts to affect me differently. You're not just walking through your own grief journey. You are guiding them through theirs.
Right.
And I'm extremely proud of my children. They've come a long way. When they were younger, there were very, very few kids that went to school with them, that interacted with them, that had experienced really any sort of trauma. A lot of kids haven't even lost a pet by the time they're 4.
Right.
So they haven't even experienced like that, just coming to grips with death. Olivia's in 8th grade now. She has friends now, maybe not that have lost their dads in the same way she did.
Right.
But, she has children she has kids and friends who have gone through other types of trauma and loss. And they're starting to be able to kind of interact about that and understand that grief and trauma together.
Yeah.
For me, kind of like you said, it comes in waves. As far as grief is concerned, it'll come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I don't wake up in the morning and think about it all day long.
Yeah.
But something will just hit me. And then there's also always if he were here. I think the further you get out, there's a lot of grief in how much he has not been here for.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So seeing pictures of the girls and how little they were, seeing how they're growing, looking into the near future at graduations and things like that, and knowing that
beach picture.
He's missing that.
That beach picture.
The beach picture, yeah. I can definitely bring that
made
up.
me think about that. No, because
when
I was talking about the grief in waves, because you get the highs, and I guess that's really part of the joyous parts are part of the grief too.
Yes.
I think about it when I think about my mom a lot. You get those all those great things, and then then you get the other end of that.
Yeah.
So it's just a continuous process. I'm sorry.
No,
Carry on.
You're fine.
Hey, you wanted me to talk.
You're doing a great job. So you just keep doing you. I love the camaraderie that you all have kind of displayed as a family. You between your siblings, and then y'all, I'm sure, have helped bring her up throughout some of her hard times, and vice versa. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And if you had any kind of advice as a daughter to a fallen trooper, right, to other daughters that have gone through the same thing, what advice would you give to that individual? Like, if you had one sitting right here, right now, what would that advice be to that individual?
So I also come from a Christian background, so I would really suggest keep the faith.
Mm-hmm.
Keep trusting in God and praying, because I know for sure that I'll see my dad in heaven when
Amen.
I die, and so it's really a comfort, and being surrounded by loving family and friends, it's just such a comfort. People who love you and care about you. I just say don't do dumb things with your life because of that trauma.
Keep your eyes on something wholesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told the girls when they were little, I said, this loss is not going to be an excuse
Yeah.
for bad behavior.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually really good advice, because loss is something that is guaranteed in this life. And if every time that we had a loss in our life, guess what? If we decide to make poor decisions in that time frame, we are going to be just really jacked up individuals, and that's not something that we need. We need to maintain a positive outlook and positive attitude on everything that we do. And like you said, young lady, keep our eyes on God. That's the most important thing that we can do, in my humble opinion, because as long as we keep our eyes on Him through all the best times, but as well as and especially during all the worst storms, then you're going to be blessed. And I'm sure that you have probably felt some of those blessings already at this point in your life. So I think that that's a very mature thing for you to say. And I think that it's something that more individuals your age and your age bracket and younger should really start grasping onto. So I appreciate that response. I think it's a lovely response, and I think that it's something that more people should really consider, because the way that you just put that so eloquently makes you shine above a lot of adults nowadays, and that's something that you should be proud of. So, what about you, Michelle? What if you had just come in contact face to face with someone who just lost their veteran to war or just lost their officer to an accident. We've had an increase, a large increase of officers getting hit on the side of the road for people not yielding and moving over in the lane. And I think that's such a sad thing and such an easy remedy to avoid that loss altogether. But it is happening.
Yeah.
But what would your advice be to someone who's just lost their spouse to something like what Keith ended up going through?
So I think one of the first things I always say is be so, so kind and gentle with yourself during this time.
Yeah.
You are going to, and I just have to say I'm really proud of her for that.
Yeah, that
for
was
that
a
last
really, really good
too.
answer. Yeah.
We, your faith is going to be a journey through this, and you don't just throw it out the window and you process that. If you're feeling angry with God at the beginning, then you need to talk to somebody about that, and you process through that, and you tell God, I don't get this.
Yeah.
I don't know why you've done this. I don't understand it. And you keep working through that, and you keep working forward. But be gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to get out of bed in the morning. I think that there is an adrenaline kick in the beginning. I think especially when there's an officer death, and veteran death is probably very similar.
Yeah.
It's public. I remember the first year was so noisy. We had memorials that we attended. We had people who wanted to talk to us and people who wanted to do things for us. And I think that adrenaline kicks in and you feel like you need to do.
Yeah.
You need to give people what they're looking for. And I felt like I needed to hold my girls up. I remember the first year I put them in t-ball, soccer, gymnastics, golf, swim. It was like I'm going to make up for the childhood that they're losing.
Right. But isn't that probably a thing you should do to, hey, let's stay really busy so that we're not going to sit here and dwell on something?
Yes.
I think that's extremely important. Yeah.
I think it is important to stay busy, and I think it is important to continue to move forward.
Yeah.
I do think you need to have caution that you're not
overdoing
avoiding
it.
and that you're not processing. I described those first 3 years. So the first year was just noisy. It was we had, like I said, we had police week memorials. I was trying to keep everything as normal as I could. I was trying to, make my grief quieter in a way.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. Like 7 months after the death, whenever, and you get told you're so strong, and you're like, what am I going to do? And 7 months after the death was actually when I first had like my first, we're talking hospitalization anxiety attack, like EKG, the whole, I think anybody with trauma understands what I'm talking about. Like the anxiety and the issues with that did not even kick in until 7 or 8 months later. So it's going to get harder. I see people judge widows who are in the public spotlight.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
they're like, oh, she's standing up there. This doesn't seem real. How does she have that? And I'm like, you may be able to do things in the first month that you will not be able to do 3 months from now, because that adrenaline will die down. The depression and the reality will kick in. And so be so, so gentle with yourself. Understand that whatever you can do today, you should do, and that it's okay. And as long as it's not something dangerous to yourself or to others, if you cannot get out of bed today, then make yourself a hot tea and just hang out in bed today. And that's okay. Yeah. And if you feel like you can go speak to the media or whatever it is you're supposed to be doing, then that's okay too.
Yeah.
And other people's judgments, the first year I didn't decorate for Christmas.
That was really close right after.
Very close. Yeah. Fall and winter are difficult for us. We got married in November. Her birthday is November. His birthday was September. Like it all just kind of goes together. And I didn't decorate for Christmas. I let my parents decorate for Christmas. I did go to their house. The girls got to have, Santa and presents and all that stuff. But we spent Christmas Eve in a hotel and swam in a pool. And had that like nice hotel breakfast stuff. And I remember there was someone who was like, "Oh, I wouldn't do that with little kids," and I'm like, "You don't know what you would do.
Yeah.
You
No,
just don't. You don't know what you would do.
it's really it's
You do what you can do."
it's so outlandish to think that you could put yourself in the shoes of someone that you have no idea what they're going through. And I think that, something like that is a great way to, give yourself an outlet. So
Yeah. I did it the next year. You do what you can do until you're able to do more. And when you're able to do more, you keep going and you do
Right.
more. So,
I agree. So I do have another question for you. When it comes to my father, and I said that my father passed away, and this is years ago, and then I've lost some really close friends of mine, that were also veterans, and that's always a hard thing to go through. But in my heart and in my mind, I'm able to kind of help keep them alive in my own way. And is there something that you guys do to do that for Keith?
yes. So we have some great traditions.
Okay.
We make the bad days good days. So Keith's birthday is September 2nd. And we have a tradition called Big Fun for Dads Forever 31. So, and it falls right at that Labor Day weekend.
Right.
So I always have a little bit of time off work. We have the first year we flew to Miami. I wasn't working and my sister was living there, and we just did a weekend in Miami. We've done Great Wolf Lodge. We've gone to the beach. We've done Six Flags.
We went to a cabin that our friends owned. We rented one from them. It was really cool.
We went to the lake house.
They drained the lake though.
Yeah. They did. They had
Very
drained the
nice.
lake. So for his birthday, we have big fun. For what else? His end of watch. So on October 24th, we have his troopers over to my parents' house. We have a cookout. We'll go we'll go graveside sometimes, but to be honest, I know this sounds funny, but
Oh, hold on.
I fell at a drop.
Yeah. Say.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Did it do the thing again?
Yeah.
We gotta unplug it and plug it back in.
Yeah, unplug her mic real quick and then plug it back in.
What's happened?
It's okay.
I think it's back. Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait, hold it. Oh, stop. Yeah, I think it's back.
Maybe it's just hair trigger and I touched it or something.
Yeah, it can be a little touchy sometimes. I don't know why it does what it does, but I do need to get a better mixer. I think that's the problem. Anyway, you were saying, my apologies.
So that's okay. So the end of watch, we and it used to be we would meet graveside and talk or pray or sing, and then we go to my parents' house and have a cookout, and we still do that.
Right.
But the graveside portion is actually getting kind of shorter and quicker. It's a little more casual because what I love about it, honestly, the troopers that come around love my family also.
Yeah.
And also troopers are on the road all the time. They don't actually get to hang out with each other. I love my coworkers. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have them to like run down to the room and be like, you will not believe this. And they get to text, they get to talk, but they don't actually get to
See
just
each other.
chill
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of fun to watch the guys all get together at my parents' house every year. It just ends up being a really neat party, a hangout. There have been some hard times. My dad was injured last year, and so it was a little bit smaller gathering. A couple years ago, we had another trooper who was in Keith's troop who was in a hit and run, and thank God he has survived, but he has lifelong injuries he's going to have to deal with. And I remember his wife, she's a sweetheart, but it's her birthday on his end of watch every year. And even though it's her birthday, she comes every year.
Wow.
And that year we all sang happy birthday to her. She was in the hospital with him. Like it is our family time, and it's so special. So we do, my in-laws, my mother-in-law hosts an event called Cup of Blue in Georgia. And it's they basically invite the law enforcement from all the local places, and they live in a lot of small towns together in Georgia.
Yeah.
So we're talking very small departments, and they invite them, and they have food trucks and feed their families once a year, and that's just in honor of Keith. So
That's really sweet. That's really sweet.
She asked last year. She asked me to play taps, which I thought was really cool because I had just learned trumpet and learned the notes, and so I thought it was a cool opportunity to like help contribute to my Mima's event too.
That's awesome. I have a hard time hearing taps without like just babbling like a big baby. Like I cry like a big like a big little girl every time that I hear it.
Bagpipes are
I don't need nothing from you, by the way.
I feel that way about bagpipes.
No, why would you do that? No, that leads me to a question for I guess both of you. Do you find that because people know what you guys have been through, that other people who have new trauma approach you guys and like, how do you deal with this?
I have a friend. Her family just went through kind of a hard divorce, and so it's not the exact same trauma we went through, but it's still trauma. So
yeah, just kind of lean on you because
feeling. So she kind of
yes, in fact, I'm finding more and more lately. I think there's this. I have friends also who have experienced. I have a friend who recently experienced almost the exact same thing I did.
Oh wow.
Except he wasn't an officer, and there's not the same amount of support, and her circle is not nearly as huge. But finding that the healing and the counsel and the work that we have done is actually like I kind of do start to know what to say, or not everything, because none of it, again, even if it's the same trauma, it's not the same trauma. But being able to empathize on that deep level and understand, and it has been, and I remember my friend saying to me, like, I don't know how you did this. I don't know how you got from here to where you are. And I'm like, you, again, be gentle with yourself. I'm like, we're talking, if I told you, I'm like, we're talking 2 years of counseling. We're talking meds sometimes and not at other times. And we're talking like a faith journey. And I'm like, I have been through a lot to be able to laugh and joke and casually talk about it. We are 8 years out, not 8 days out. And it's important to remember, like, to just slow down. And unfortunately, you have to go through it. And it's one of the worst things you'll ever go through. And it will change you. It will change every aspect of your life. It changes your personality. My music taste changed.
We were discussing that before we were talking about that, and we were talking about like the comparison between losing a loved one as far as a spouse and losing a child. The comparison of the two, granted, it's apples and oranges for the most part, but how everything kind of can change. So could have explained that a little bit more, because I thought that was a very interesting thing that we had talked about before.
I know, I got to remember what I said before. It does, it changes you because of the trauma. There are triggers. There are things that you can't do anymore. There are things that you don't do anymore.
Right.
Everything down to what you buy at the grocery store. Like I remember one of my first big grief moments. I was at the grocery store and saw a jar of pickles and started crying in the middle of the store because we don't need pickles anymore because they're gross, and he was the only one who liked them. I struggled to cook. I used to cook a lot more, and there was just that part of me that kind of changed, because when you have a man in the house, he eats half the pan of whatever it is you make. The girls were really
a little
little.
Offended.
You should be.
You should be more offended.
The girls were so little, and it was, I had to learn how to prepare food differently until they got bigger. There was music that changed. We used to watch football together all the time. I'll be honest, I've barely watched football since he died, and I like football. It's not that triggering for me. It's just, it changed.
Right.
Because that's something that we did together. I was a stay-at-home mom at the time because of decisions that we were making, and the girls were really little. I went back to work, and now I'm back I have my teacher hat on most of the time. Everything changes. Where you sleep on the bed changes. The fact that he's not in the car when you're driving changes. And so it just slowly, it affects everything, and it morphs. And that is something that's really difficult to grapple with in the beginning. In the third year after he died, I remember, you know how sometimes people choose like a word for the year. Mm-hmm. And I chose identity because I did not know who I was anymore. Like I didn't even know what kind of music I liked. I remember, and I don't know how much of that was that fog, that trauma, that grief, or just the practical changes that it makes. But I remember thinking, I just don't know who I am. And I also remember my New Year's resolution that year was to get out and be more social and start to say yes to doing things. And that was 2020. So I went very few places that year and did very little anyway.
Yeah.
So that one went out the window.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is funny. We were talking about music at work last night with some coworkers that were right around me, and we were talking about how, I'm a huge music, being a musician. But I don't when I'm driving home from work, and this is usually if I'm driving to work in the morning, I don't listen to music. Right. Everybody else is like, oh yeah, listen to this, some favorite stuff. I'm like, I don't listen to music on the drive to work. I don't know why that is.
I don't know. I have days where I just don't listen to music when I go on my way to pick up the boys, but then whenever I get them, I don't know if it's just because, I don't want to hear them fussing or arguing, but I turn the music on pretty high. Yeah. but
hear you.
Other days I'll crank the music up and, be listening to some, Mercy Me radio on the way to pick up the boys. It's dependent on the day, I think.
Yeah.
I don't listen after work because I've been overstimulated for 8 hours, and I just need it to be quiet.
I think it kind of depends on what, because I think everybody's musical taste changes throughout their life. I know certainly mine has. I still like the stuff that I grew up listening to, but like my wife and I listen to a completely different set of genres now than either one of us did when we were kids.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead. There's this artist, Toby Mac, that I really like.
I like Toby Mac.
Yeah. He has a song for cops on when we're 14 we graduate, and his song 21 Years, he wrote it after his son died. I chose that for my graduation song. I'm choosing it because it's such a good song to listen to.
Oh, it's a great song. It's a fantastic song. So Kimber posted again, and she said, "You both are brave ladies. Thank you for sharing your story and being so transparent. I know it will reach so many." And then Jinx, my wife, said, "Same. I drive in silence so I can stare into the void."
100%. It's funny while we're talking about music and you're talking about dads and stuff. I think something that has really struck me and it's really amazing is genetics. So Keith was like country, okay? Country boy. I was more everything else, literally everything but country. I knew very few country songs. It was amazing as Olivia grew up, especially to watch her like walk like her dad, talk like her dad. She would start to watch shows that would have been like his shows. She got her first deer when she was 11.
Hey,
and
good
he
job.
would be, I know, she's stocking the freezer for us. He would be so proud, but she would also, like, songs would come on that I have zero interest in because I'm just not a country person. And she would go, "Oh, I really like this." And it was like, I'm like, "Oh my word, your dad liked that song." And she doesn't remember that, like it's hard. They were so little. A lot of their memories are fabricated, but a lot of them have been reinforced because this generation has that beautiful advantage of so many videos and pictures. So my girls will be like, "I remember this. Is that real?" And I can say, "Yeah, that is real." And, and this is exactly how it happened and things like that. But the fact that she would pick up on music and movies and shows that he and I had very different tastes. And I'm like, genetics are an amazing thing.
That's really interesting.
He's still very much a part of her. And all of them just have traits that constantly surprise me.
Yeah.
So, which is good because it's good that they're not just like all me. Because I think
we're
all thankful for that.
Do you ever have moments where they do something that, was very, very unique to Keith that like just makes you go, Oh.
Yes. Yes. His laugh, his smile. He had like a goofy, like, like his laugh was really funny. They have similar laughs. They have similar smiles. Olivia walks like him. They hold their elbows like he does. Like I just can't even explain. He was not afraid to walk up to people socially. Whereas I would be a little. I mean, I'm social. I'm friendly.
Yeah.
But
they're social butterflies.
Boy,
though.
he didn't care. Like,
yeah.
he would just walk right into a conversation at church and just strike it. And they'll do the exact same thing. They'll share the way that she tells stories. He would tell hunting stories, and he would get so animated about it and be like, and then I was sitting there, and the squirrel came down, and bam, and it was a little dorky, but it was also really funny. And she will do the exact same thing. Like, it's hilarious, and
it's beautiful is what it is.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And even the things that make you just roll your eyes like, oh my word, that is something that actually sort of drove me nuts sometimes, but it's a beautiful, amazing thing to see just organically and naturally come out in their lives. And their
I guess that means, Olivia, that you're going to have to start working on, your delivery on dad jokes and stuff too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I'm picking up on some.
You picking up on some? That's good.
Yeah, lately, yeah.
Well, look, I think that it's, Kimberly said it great. She said that you're both extremely brave. And that your story, I think, will help a lot of people, and that's hopefully what, we can do here, but not just here. I mean, you guys have shared your story everywhere. And I think that's an amazing thing for you to do. And I think that it's, kind of a necessity, because a lot more people are going to unfortunately go through what you guys have went through. And that in and of itself is really sad, and it's a very unfortunate thing, but it is a truth nonetheless. So thank you guys so much for coming on to the channel and discussing with us some of the things that have kind of helped you along your way, and because I think that can help others. I think that alone can help so many people, because once it happens, as you become so lost in that moment. Yeah. And you're just kind of grasping for any kind of answers or any kind of peace. And you guys have just shared with the masses on how they can do exactly that. So thank you so much. And thank you for being so brave. Thank you for such a beautiful answer to that question, Olivia. I think that, that's, we need a lot more of that in today's world. It feels like a lot of people have I think a lot of people have kind of lost the way. Mm-hmm. But you, as young as you are, you know the way, and you're willing to share that with people. And I think that's a wonderful thing. So please keep doing that. I think that's very, very important. Now, as for you out there, if you enjoyed this, please do us a favor, share this video. I don't care if you subscribe. If you do subscribe, then that just helps us out a little bit more, and that will let us get this information out to a lot more people. But sharing, I think, is the most important thing, because people deserve to hear this. Everyone deserves to hear this, because at some point in time, everyone is going to end up losing someone that's very close to them, and they need to at least have one way that they may be able to deal with this. So with that being said, please share this with your family, share it with your friends, share it with the orangutan at the zoo, share it with everyone, so that everyone can get access to this wonderful story that these lovely ladies have shared with us tonight. And if you would like to get some merchandise for yourselves, all the merchandise goes towards fixing up our studio, except for the Cancer Sucks merchandise, which goes into helping with my cancer situation. That's going to be a long and arduous road, but you know what? I'm kind of stuck in this, so I don't have a choice. But you can help me out by going to our merch store, which the link will be in the bio for this video. if I haven't had a chance to update the video just yet to include that, you can find it in the description for the channel. With that being said, do either of you have any other advice that you might be willing to give out to anyone who might be watching right now?
Don't be so if you go through this, like if you already have something that everybody knows about you, but then everything changes, don't be afraid to like change your style, your music taste, even though that would be your trademark, like you know, if everything changes, then why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And Michelle?
I would say, I would echo what Olivia said earlier. I definitely would, if you're struggling with your faith at the time, I know as adults sometimes it's like I can't pray all of a sudden. Then find your people who are like-minded in the faith so that they will lift you up and not bring you down. Find your people. We've been very blessed. We have organizations because we are police survivors that are there for us. Not everybody has those, but there are other widows. There are other grieving parents. There are other grieving kids. Find your people, and to be among like-minded people. I think widows need each other. I think grieving parents need each other. I think veterans need each other. And reach out to at least one, and then let that group grow. Sometimes they will pull you in, and that feels very overwhelming at first, but it's going to be what saves you in the end. So say yes to that.
Beautifully said. All right. Do you have anything that you would like to say in closing?
No, I think this was great. I think they've said everything that needs to be said.
I believe so as well. I'm going to leave it there, actually. We love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode, and we look forward to seeing you on the next Lighthouse Podcast. See you in the after show if that's your thing.
Or not.
Or not. All right, we're in the after show. All right, that was quick and easy. Let's get you guys pulled up in here. Up in her. Let's see. We're going to do that. Control C. And then we're gonna go to main, and then Control V. Hey, look at that. What are you saying over there? I see you saying something.
I said she did a great job.
Oh, yeah. She did do a great job. All right, ladies. So we are all in the shot together. Look at that. Let's do this. Option. Boom. Perfect. And
something like that.
Good. That works.
That'll work.
All right. So I just do that so that it's easier on me and I'm not having to constantly...
He likes doing that. Don't let him.
I hate doing it because then I have to go back and be like, why did I do that? That's so stupid. At least if I have Adley doing it, I can blame her for anything that goes wrong. But nope. This one's all on me. So you did great. Y'all did great.
Yeah, both did great.
So yeah. Was this your first podcast that you've ever been on? Mm-hmm. You know what? Me too. No, actually, I've been on one. But I've been on like 2 other ones before this, but I wanted to make you feel like, yeah. But so we're not going to have a cigar tonight, just out of respect to the young ladies over here. They are calling my name because I really wanted to try.
We can go.
No, you're not allowed to now. You're already into the after show at this point.
All right.
I still have this. I actually recently quit vaping, and it's because of this fume, which no tobacco, no nicotine. It's just like this little flavored thing that has like essential oils in it, and it kind of gives you the same throat feel as, so it's nice.
You should tell the kids at my high school that. Maybe.
Yeah. I think more kids at the high schools should focus on stopping vaping. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
So stupid. Look at me. It is stupid. But yeah, so have you guys watched any of the episodes prior to today?
I did. I got to watch a few. I haven't been able to sit through like a whole hour-long episode.
Yeah. Well, you did just now.
I did just now. So, but yes, I got to kind of flip through a lot of your videos and reels that you post. So,
yeah,
kind of cool.
Hopefully they've been entertaining and educating. And
Brad had to make his whiskey comment.
Yeah, of course.
He's going to force me to bring.
John says that he needs to quit vaping. So, man, I'm going to tell you that was thought. I think that quitting vaping has been harder than quitting smoking. I actually switched to vaping from smoking, and then it was even more difficult to me to be like, hey, let me try something other than that. That's not harmful at all. Because it seemed like with the vaping, like it was just hard to breathe. Like I could make it up a flight of stairs without being winded, but it still felt harder to breathe somehow, and I don't understand that. So quit vaping, man, and get yourself one of these fumes, man. I am not sponsored, but I would love to be. Okay, I think it's worth your while. I think it's worth your time, not only for yourself, but also for those around you who love and care about you. The reason that I decided to quit vaping was actually to give myself, like, I know that the cancer is going to do its thing, whether I want it to or not. But I think that maybe, if I can quit vaping, that might prolong things just a little bit longer, possibly. So
give it a shot.
Hopefully make you feel better in the meantime.
Yeah.
I mean, a little as better as you can feel on some days.
Yeah, the only thing is you see me doing this a lot more, and it's just like... Yep, that's better. I'm sure that looks so much better than vaping, right?
God, you can smell that.
It's really minty.
Yeah, what are we going to use for smoke effects when we do the next music video?
I don't know, man. We're going to have to get somebody who still vapes to do that. But, yeah. Have you been seeing any of my videos with, like, the blow-up thingies? No?
He's on a whole kick.
That was so much fun. Oh, my gosh. Go and follow me over on Facebook or my other YouTube channel, because I do a lot of really stupid videos. Like, I've done a couple on this channel, not gonna lie, and a couple on our TikTok. Pretty much, yeah. If you follow me on TikTok.
Wait, you're putting stuff on the TikTok?
Of course I am.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get the TikTok.
See, I told you got to get.
I'm waiting for some American dude to buy it. So
I'd rather
have Americans have all my info than Chinese. So.
Wow. I don't think I really want either one of them to have any.
Well, they're
to be completely honest with you. But so I'm trying to be a trendsetter. Okay, I don't want to follow trends. I want to be a trendsetter. Okay. See, she agrees. She's like, "Yep, I get that completely."
You're in a trend.
She's also in 8th grade. I mean, I'm just
yeah.
Well, yeah. But I'm old. I'm fat. I ain't got nothing else going for me, so I might as well try and be a trendsetter, right? You're not supposed to agree with the old and the fat part, just the trendsetter part. She's like
smiling nod.
North and south, yeah. Yeah, that is the flavor cartridge, by the way. So it's FUM. There it is. Where did it go?
It's on the ground.
No! Oh, I'll find it. That was easy.
Hey.
Sorry.
Hey, try not to move the whole table.
I'm sorry. It's my table. Well, technically. It's in my house. That makes it mine. It's in my house. That makes it mine. So you get this little guy right here.
Shelly said blowing stuff up is not the trend. So he's trying to
I'm trying to set the trend. That's the part. That's the whole trend setter thing. So the super minty, like they have a bunch of different flavors. They got like black licorice. They have spearmint. They have peppermint, which is what this one is. They have like a cherry limeade, and it just goes in like that. Goes over, and it's a really good little fidget toy. You can hear that. So if you're like me and you have to be moving something, you can.
You're a child, Murdoch.
I never said I wasn't. Not once did I say that I wasn't a child.
There was just some confirmation.
And then it's like those really strong aromas really kind of...
I feel like we're in an infomercial.
The throat hit. They asked, so I'm telling them.
Okay.
I gotta answer our watchers.
Now the boys are chatting. Couldn't be bothered to throw anything in there while we're having a serious
what's
discussion.
up with that, John and Brad? Why couldn't you say something during the actual, well, in fairness, John did say like one or two things. He said, "You're welcome," during the actual podcast. So
okay,
that was it. I don't know what he was saying. You're welcome to. What were you saying? You're welcome to. Sorry. I have nothing. Okay, I have nothing. So
yeah, it's no fun without the cigars, right?
Olivia, tell me some things that you like to do other than TikTok and being a trendsetter.
Wait, no, okay, go ahead.
No, I asked her a question. You can't interrupt her and cut her off right there.
I had a better question.
You're asking her about TikTok?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Quite the opposite, actually. I said
okay.
Other than TikTok.
Oh, other than, okay. Because I'm like the friend that doesn't have social media, so.
I'm that mom.
Man, there's nothing wrong with being that
I
mom.
don't mind, yeah, there's no problem with that. Like, what do I do other than that?
Yeah, what are some of your pastimes, some of your hobbies and stuff?
Well, I can really only, I wish I could call it a hobby, but, I really like when I go deer hunting with my peepaw, because it's,
Yeah.
I love going to their farm anytime, because we hunt hogs and squirrels sometimes.
Yeah.
I really like just being in the woods. It's really fun.
Do you ever eat what you kill? Like, that's good. That's good.
I've never really shot. We don't eat everything. Like, they had chickens, and so people, and they have armadillos that dig up their property.
Yeah,
so,
you eat armadillo. Yeah.
So,
Gross.
we go around hunting varmints too.
That's good.
It's fun though.
Look, I like hunting as much as anyone else. I enjoy fishing a little bit more than I like hunting, though. Especially catfishing, because it doesn't matter if you catch anything. You be on the bank side, you have that hook out in the water. You can do it for 12 hours and not catch a thing, but you know what? I'm still content with it because it gets me away. It puts me in my own little bubble that I just really enjoy being in. And I'm sure Topher enjoys me being in that bubble because it puts me away from him.
I'm for it.
You're for it. Yeah. What were you going to say?
Oh, no, we're going to do the favorite song thing. What's your favorite song?
Oh, yeah.
I don't really have much of a favorite song in particular. Like, I kind of have, it's like a phase almost. Like, right now, I really like the song High Hopes.
It's not weird at all.
I can't really explain it.
Do you know who it's by?
Panic at the Disco.
Oh, okay. I know Panic.
But,
Sing it.
No.
You probably can,
Sing
can't
it.
you?
I can, but...
Hey, put the headphones on her just real quick. Just real quick.
There you go.
Sing it. Okay, you can get her. That's all I wanted.
Denied. She said no.
My favorite artist, though, is NF. I love NF.
NF. I'm not sure. Have you ever heard of NF?
No.
I haven't either.
He's an angry white rapper, but he's clean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's like, he is. He's like the Christian Eminem or something. Like, it's different, but I like it too. It's a good workout music.
Christian Eminem. Those are two words that I never thought I'd heard here in the same sentence.
It's completely paradoxical. I get that, but if you heard one song, you would understand what I mean.
Okay. What about you? Favorite song?
Favorite song is not a fair question to ask.
Yeah, everybody that comes on has had to answer it.
Cheese and crackers. Okay.
Shelly said she likes NF. I have no idea who it is.
Oh, see? Yeah, that's good. We're friends. She knows. It's that middle school soul that we shared back in the day. Oh, my word. What's my favorite song?
I don't know.
I
like Lauren Daigle.
I do like Lauren Daigle. I have a favorite song for every mood I'm in. Like, if I need to reflect. And
what's your most common mood, though?
My most common mood?
Yeah. What? You say what?
I said anxious.
Okay, so what do you listen to when you're anxious? Because that would be your favorite song.
She said my most common mood is anxious.
She said it with a straight face for the most part, too.
She's like, straight up, my mom is anxious, just so everybody knows. So when I'm having that like at night anxiety, I can't sleep. Lauren Daigle's a good one. So I really like her song Rescue.
Okay.
It's a really good one. When I'm feeling particularly millennial, I like probably Incubus or Blink-182 or like anything by them.
21 Pilots.
Kind of that bring
21 Pilots.
Yeah.
So
she's being raised by a millennial mom 100%.
Yeah, that's a good thing, though. I think that's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
Brad says that NF is a pretty good positive rapper, and then John says that he raps about the true things that are actually going on. So I think that's good. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. I'm
not technically, a rap fan per se, but to each their own. More so than just rap in general. I don't like. I loathe mumble rap. I think it's the most stupid thing on the face of earth.
Know what that is?
Exactly. That's my point.
It's I like to listen to NF if I'm walking or working out because I can't hear myself fighting for my life, and it's anything that covers that up.
But everybody else in the gym can.
It's good. Yeah, I mean, they need better headphones. That's their problem.
Okay, so the second question that everybody gets asked: favorite film?
Film, like movie?
Yeah. What else do I mean?
I don't.
She's like, film's such an old word.
Well, I went to film school, so it'll always be film to me.
Yeah.
So I'm messing with my grenade.
I've recently been into scary movies or like sad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think so far my favorite. I don't have like a in general, but my favorite of the recent ones I've watched was probably either Forrest Gump or The Green Mile.
I just watched Forrest Gump the other day, actually. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
And The Green Mile is a beautiful, beautiful piece of cinema.
I've never seen that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
my
man.
word.
It's absolutely a must-watch.
I've seen snippets of it, but I've never seen the whole.
It's a great
100%.
book,
Like,
too.
I don't care for Tom Hanks anymore, but those two films are two of my absolute favorite films. Like, I don't hate Tom Hanks, but I really can't stand him as a person.
Last time I
But
talked to him, he said he
love
didn't
those
care
films.
for you anymore either.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care, but I love those two films, especially The Green Mile. That one, I mean, it's probably one of my favorite films of all time. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. And, oh my gosh, the guy that plays John Coffey, man,
Oh no.
it was such a tragic loss because he was such an amazing actor. But that was probably, in my opinion, his best role yet. All right.
I let her watch it recently, and now she knows why I say I'm tired, boss, all the time.
I'm tired, boss.
I'm tired, boss.
All right. What about you? What's your favorite?
Okay, again, I'm an avid movie watcher. It's really hard to choose. If I have to pick one, I'm gonna go with Man on Fire with Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
I've not seen that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I haven't let them watch that yet. I'm
Men
pretty
on Fire is
serious
really
about
good.
stuff.
Into that one's.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
Denzel does some really, really good ones too. I think the thing that I like the most about Denzel is he's really true to character, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of portrays, it kind of rolls through all of his films, and I feel like he actually lives those roles that he's in pretty much every single time that he goes into one. So I think that's one of the reasons he's one of my favorite actors.
That is not my favorite thing about Denzel.
What's your favorite thing?
We probably have different things that we like. No, I just love Denzel. Women love Denzel, just so you know. I will say, you were talking about Tom Hanks. So did you ever see Joe versus the Volcano?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so that's like old school, like cult, like hidden.
Yeah.
That was like our family movie growing up. Michelle, is it Michelle Pfeiffer? No.
Who was?
It's Meg Ryan plays all three women in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Meg Ryan. I like Meg.
And it's funny because Tom Hanks actually in an interview years ago in the 90s said like that was one of his least favorite movies that he ever did. He didn't
Oh, really?
like
I thought it would be like You've Got Mail.
Oh yeah, I hate that movie. But like we had that movie memorized when we made new friends or we were dating someone new. They literally had to. It was like a rite of passage to watch that with our family. So it's kind of a funny one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I remember when I was younger, I liked Turner and Hooch.
That is a great film. Yeah. Oh gosh.
So we're just talking about Tom Hanks now.
I guess.
Okay.
We talk too much. We're like taking over their after show.
No, it's fine. No. Look, I don't like Tom. I really don't like him as a person.
Right.
But he's put out some bangers. Like Turner and Hooch was fire.
He's a super weird guy, but he does not make a bad movie. Mr. Mission Impossible himself, Tom Cruise. Yeah. He does not make a bad movie. No, he's a weird guy to hear it told. With the Scientology and all.
No. That was somebody else. That was Brad Pitt. Tom Cruise. The Scientology. Yeah, Scientology guy. Yeah. No. He actually has some really good ones. What was the one that he did with Cameron Diaz where he was a spy?
Yeah. Day and Night. I think that was called Day and Night.
Yeah, Day and Night. That's what it was. I didn't care for that one.
It's all right. All the Mission Impossibles have been
Brad
really good.
Pitt was who I was thinking that you were talking about, and I would have agreed with you wholeheartedly that Brad Pitt I don't think has ever put out a bad film. And my favorite of Brad Pitt's films would be World War Z, hands down.
That's
Best,
a good one.
yeah.
I like his he was in that Guy Ritchie.
I like
Snatch.
Meet Joe Black.
Meet Joe Black was another one.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was a good movie.
You know who else is weird? Jim Carrey, but makes better movies.
Then you got Benjamin Button, another great one.
Yeah.
So I mean, he had some bangs, but yeah.
Brad Pitt.
Wasn't he 7?
Yeah, he was 7.
What's
the
in the
one?
box?
The one where he.
You're not allowed to
Legends
watch
of
that
the Fall.
Legends of the Fall was a really good one. Then he had that one that he was. It was another one where he was kind of like an agent, and the only thing that really really sticks out. It was a great film, but the only thing that's sticking out in my mind right now is where he has a ton of individuals coming out to try and assassinate him, and this one lady comes up with a syringe full of venom. She drops it into his hand. He pulls it out, sticks it in her. And he just waits for her to pull out the antivenom. And then when she does, so that she can stick herself with the antivenom, he steals it, sticks himself in with her. He's like, I'm sorry. She's like, oh, you.
What movie is that?
It was on Netflix.
Yeah, what film is it? If you
Last
watch
year?
it, what film was
Me
that?
and Kimber watched it.
And it's Brad Pitt?
Yeah, it's Brad. Yeah, it's a really good one. It's funny.
I think it was just a Netflix movie. I think.
I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah, it was one of those really slick, modern.
See, there's another one. Inglourious Bastards, another fantastic Brad Pitt film. Troy, another one. Yep.
Yeah.
Speed Train. That's what.
Speed Train.
Yeah. See, you can name Brad Pitt films all day. You're not going to name a bad one, I don't think.
There's some recently I haven't seen of his because the F1 movie he just did. I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen that one. I haven't.
Actually, it might not even be out yet. I'm not sure. And there's a handful of his I just haven't seen for whatever reason. But there's two of his, and we talked about both the Legends of the Fall and Fury are two that I saw. Phenomenal. Won't watch them again. They're too gut wrenching.
Yeah,
just won't do it.
Yeah, some of them can be hard.
There's a handful of. That's funny. We were talking about at work last night. There's a handful of movies that I watched, thought that's amazing. Not going to sit through it again. Passion of the Christ, phenomenal movie.
Oh, yes.
Not going to sit through that again.
Mm-hmm.
I will sit through that film 100 times. I don't care. It's such a beautiful film. I love the Passion of the Christ.
That's just it's brutal and just
I know that, but that's the point.
I know
that is the point.
It did its job. Okay, on to the next one. And it's funny because now they're gonna Mel Gibson's making a
he's making a sequel. I think that's a wonderful thing, and I can't wait to see it.
It'll be great.
Yeah, well, I can guarantee you one thing though.
Twice.
I can guarantee you one thing though. Bruce Willis will not be in that film. Too soon. I love Bruce too. Okay, look.
Okay, it's been fun, Bruce guys.
So much. Yeah, we just got canceled, dude.
I'm out.
That's terrible.
I don't know that Bruce Willis made. Well, maybe his last couple weren't great, but he made some great movies.
Yeah, his last few weren't. They were subpar.
I hated because he had that the Red.
Yeah.
They did two of those, and I really hated they never got around to making a third one because I liked those a lot. Yeah,
they were really, really good ones. Was it him that did that movie Fragile? I think it was called Fragile. It was a superhero movie and
Unbreakable.
That's what it was. Yeah,
that's a really good movie.
Yeah, that was a really good one. But Sly has done a really awesome superhero style film too, where he plays a super villain, but everybody thinks throughout the whole film that he's a super hero. It turns out that he was, being confused for his brother the entire time, who was his arch nemesis. Fantastic film.
Okay. I think you're making it up, but
I'm not making it up. Sly's amazing. Sly's great anyway. Like you can't discount Sly. I don't he's made terrible films, but
HBO Max.
But each one of those terrible films was awesome in their own right. Midnight Meat Train is a good movie about vampires and zombies. They're talking all kinds of films.
I think we've lost the channel there. It's just
pretty much
weird movie trash talk.
All right, I think that's a pretty good place to cut it for the night. But thank you guys again for coming out. It's been amazing having y'all on, and you're more than welcome to come back anytime. And
maybe not anytime. We have other guests scheduled.
Well,
another time.
I'm fixing to unveil something that we are planning.
Oh, okay.
Okay, calm your face. Okay.
What about the rest of me?
So here soon, Jinx and myself and Adley are planning on starting up a podcast based around just doing Bible studies and spreading the good news about God and Jesus.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be a phenomenal thing. And, if you're watching right now and you would like to come and join us, you're more than welcome. It'll probably be not on Fridays. We're not sure exactly when just yet. We're still kind of working out. I'm still working out most of the logistics on everything, but it's something I really want to do. And I think it's a good way for us to be able to kind of spread the good news of Jesus. So if you guys would like to be a part of that, you're more than welcome to. I think that, Olivia, you would be a phenomenal partner to have on this show at that point. And if you guys would like to join us, just stick around, subscribe. That way you get notified whenever we start doing all these other new things. Pardon me.
Thank you. Bleh.
That stunk. But yeah, thank you. I love you. And we will see you on the next one. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Say
Thank
bye.
you.
I'm sorry in advance.